Howdy folks, my name's Darren from RC Scale Models, and today we're back with you with another kit review. And today I'm going to show you what we got here on the bench, which is Roden 1:35 scale. What you see on the front of the box is what you get. So you get the tractor type transport vehicle. You get these wagons. I imagine is one of them's for ammunition, and I think this one is for the gun for traversing and stuff. So it's the base, and you get the gun itself, so you can build this whole entire display. The gun itself is 8-inch Howitzer. Not sure what the actual name of the actual gun is and stuff. I'd have to look that up. Probably tell me on the rest of the box. World War One, 1917. I think this is based around the Middle East kind of area. I think they've got it down and marked as. Kit number, they've got it as RO814, which you see down the bottom there. Limited edition, I don't know what that means. I think it might be because you can buy these individually, but I think what they mean by limited edition is you got the whole package. It's quite pricey, this kit. If you want to buy this, is about 80 quid as a package. So we've got several languages on this side of the box. Basically a little bit of history, I think, on the kit. This side. Then we've got, this is one of the paint options, which is, say, it is the artillery tractor, 8-inch Howitzer, and then you've got the rest of it, 1917, Middle East. They're calling out, looks like a green colour, but I'm not sure. I'd have to do my references on World War One colours. Normally I do like a darky greeny brown earth colour. I'm not sure. So we'll take a look inside in this box. So as always, we start with the paperwork and instructions and kind of thing. We get a little bit here, the decals, and a tiny little bit of photo etch. Front page gives you a ton of history in obviously different languages. And then first page, you've got all your symbols to pay attention to, just to be careful. Drill holes out, cut parts off, glue, assembly, let time to dry, all that kind of thing. You've got your typical sprue map on most kit manufacturers. Good way of checking to make sure everything's there. So, and more of it up here. We've got engine detail, tracks. I think they call out for them to be clipped together, but we shall see how well they go together. So for step one, it looks like you get your lower chassis for the tractor, and we've got the rollers, and then we've got this piece at the back, which I'm not actually sure what that is. And then this part up here, step 4, is more rollers and framing and suspension parts. We've got these little springs going in. They are all moulded as plastic, so if you want to upgrade them yourself with real springs, you may want to do that if you want more detail. And then it goes into the front wheel. If you look at the vehicle, it's a tricycle arrangement, so you've got front wheel and then you've got the tracks either side. This is the front wheel assembly, so it comes in several parts, so it should be nicely detailed. And then we have the mechanism for the steering, which is what you see here. And then number 9 is the actual frame of the tractor, and we've got supports, and then that's the center part for the wheel. Then once that's built, this assembly you built earlier, which was up the top there, can be attached to the bottom, and so forth. This looks like exhaust assembly, maybe, I'm not sure, I really don't know. Number 11 is flipping it over, and we have drive sprockets for the track assembly, and we have more framing and looks like tensioning arms, or could be arms for adjusting the track actually for that type of thing. And then we have this assembly, which is Again, I'm not 100% sure what that's for. And then we have nice engine detail which comes in the kit. It's going to be visible. Just like some kind of 4-cylinder of some arrangement. No idea what type of engine that would be. Feel free in the comments what engine type it is if you know. I would like to know. I will do some research after this to figure out what this type of vehicle is and stuff, what it runs and what engine and so forth, because I'd be interested. I do like this type of stuff. Again, this looks like a fuel tank and some kind of detail parts, or it could be water, I'm not sure. And then once that's done, your lower chassis we built earlier, it's calling out for the tracks, and you can attach the engine to its framing, which you've done as well. And you've got the fenders that can all be attached, and it's basically building up small sub-assemblies, and that's how you build the vehicle up, which is a nice way of doing it. So that's come together nicely. Doesn't actually doesn't say how many tracks you need, but I imagine there should be enough in the kit. I think they give you 4 sets of sprues. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14, 28. I think that makes it 28 per side. It must be roughly. And what's the next step? We have another sub-assembly. Again, some kind of tank. Could be fuel. I'm not sure. Radiator, exhaust, and type of thing. Bottom of the vehicle we have this running plate, and then we have more, looks like suspension maybe, or some kind of adjustment parts again. And then the roof assembly going together, not sure what that is neither. There's that tank being attached, some levers. Starts to come again together quite quickly. There's a ton of parts, and then this is the driver's part, all these levers, steering wheel, the seat and so forth. A couple of detail parts on the side. There's that roof assembly that you built earlier, can go on, and then there's that exhaust that you built earlier as well. Like I say, they're all sub-assemblies to make the vehicle. Pretty cool. Last part to go on was the radiator that you built as well. And then the colour call out they've got down here. These are colour call outs for Vallejo actually. Not sure where it specifies what colour the vehicle is. You've got colour call outs at the back, so we'll look at that in a bit. And the next step is the 8-inch Howitzer gun. You've got a G part which looks like tracks, another kind of track that is there, not sure. More sprues again for the gun. This is one piece, it's moulded so it should be nicely detailed. The photo etch parts is required in the gun. So first step is the wheels. You need to build 2 of those. So this part here is the track assembly. I think that's rubber if I'm mistaken. It gets wrapped around the wheel to give that detail. I'm not a fan of rubber. I have looked at some aftermarket parts and there isn't much out there, so I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe scratch build some things to detail it, I don't know yet. And then we have some framing, and then the gun assembly. Unfortunately the gun is in 2 halves, so it's going to take quite a bit of cleanup to get that seams out, to get a nice tube. And then the gun and cradle can all be built, and then the actual lower chassis of the gun itself can be assembled, and then attaching the wheels. Like again, this is going to be sub-assemblies to build up the gun. 10 is attaching all the parts, and then 11 is some kind of framing, 12 is some supports, which is this part here. I think it's the lower part of the gun to sit on, and that's how they can rotate the gun left and right quickly. It's like a gun platform, but if you want it folded up in transport mode, which is here, and I think this is the unfolded version. So yeah, so this is the transport version, and the gun, and then I think this trailer at the back as well carries ammunition or tools maybe, I'm not sure. This is the displayed version of the gun being in firing mode, if I want to call it that way, and then obviously we've got this page here is how the vehicle gets in transport. So the tractor, the little trailer, the gun gets towed from the rear and pointing that way, and then obviously the lower floor part, I think, whatever you want to call that. And then colour callouts, we have the Tracktor itself, 1917, Middle East. This is one from the box art, I believe. They're calling out for the Tracktor itself to be A. They're calling out for like an olive brown colour. I'm not sure. Again, just check your references and figure out World War I colours. It's probably like an earthy brown colour anyway, so it's probably pretty close. K, they're calling out for the radiator, is a stone grey colour, maybe. The engine block, they're calling out for I, which is dark grey, I'm not sure. The exhaust, they're calling out the same colour as the vehicle. I don't think that would be right. That'd probably be kind of rusty with heat. We have D, black for the handles, for the levers, possibly, I'm not sure. And the tracks, they're calling out for the same colour. No, sorry, the tracks are G. They got that down as steel. Yeah, I think that would be right. Different one here, 1918, so slightly different markings, different serial number. And they're calling out for A, same colour as before. And then we've got some gun options. We have this gun here. Where's this one? Unknown unit, just British. It's calling out for gun colour is H, I believe. What is H? H is calling out for chrome silver. I can't see the gun being chrome silver. That's wrong. Definitely wrong. No, that's definitely not right. I don't think that would be right at all. I think that would be the same colour as the Tracktor. And we got kind of a camouflage version, which is actually US Army, Europe during the war, 1918. So that is calling out for base colour A, which is the same colour as the Tracktor, which, yeah, I think would be right. And then the other camouflage to that is B. They're calling out for Royal Hash Green. I'm not sure. Some kind of green colour, so brown and green. Again, just check references. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. So the first bag contains the Tracktor itself. So let's move these over here slightly, and then we go through the sprues. So first sprue we have the roof, which is the corrugated metal texture, nicely done. The framing, and the rest of the framing for the supports. I imagine these would be top of wood maybe. And then we have the diamond plating effect on the mud guards. So I'll bring it up slightly closer. Can't see any flash. There is burring on the edges of the mould. Detail looks pretty good. There's that diamondish pattern for the fenders. No ejector pins on the roof itself, that's really clean. On the inside of the fenders there is, but that's facing down and the track's going to cover that, so you're not going to see that. There's no ejector pins on what I can see on the supports neither. So yeah, nicely done. Ejector pins in, hopefully in hidden places. So this is sprue H. And then we have a couple of tracks. Should be 4 of those. Yep, so there's 4 of these. So these are the track assembly. We have a little bit of flash around this actually, not too bad. And then we have these weird bumps inside. I'm not sure if they're meant to be there. So there's the track. It's quite chunky track for this type of vehicle. Tiny bit of flash around the top, but it's nothing biggie to clean up. And that's the inside. And then you've got these weird pins on the inside. I'm not sure if they were meant to, as I say, meant to be there. Possibly. It could be the bolts from the other side, holding it all together. Looks like they're kind of clipped together, but I'm not sure how well that would be. Maybe a bit of glue to hold them in place. Shouldn't be too difficult. So this should be nicely done. And we have this sprue here. Is the part of the wheels, framing, and then some kind of tank again. Some detailed parts. These are like rollers. This is sprue F. Pretty nicely done. They've got these small ejection pins which are on the outside, so this is how they're getting the mould out completely without having to have nasty ejector pins in horrible places. Obviously they've got them inside here, but these are 2 halves, so you're not going to see them anyway. So yeah, a couple of large ones on the bottom here, but they just kind of snap off anyway. I've seen this in the past on other manufacturers. I've heard mixed reviews about Roden. Some of their kits can be quite nasty, but I think this is one of their better kits. It looks pretty clean to me. Again, let me know if you built this kit or any of their other fit kits and what you think of them, and are they worth the money. This kind of flooring with the tunnel for possibly the drive shaft maybe. Again, this has got some kind of diamond pattern on it. Again, 2 halves for some parts. There's the radiator assembly, nicely detailed. Some flooring. Again, ejector pins on the inside, which I doubt it you're ever going to see them. I think there's a back plate to go on this anyway. So yeah, nicely done. This is sprue C. That's nicely done. Then we have one of these as well. This is sprue A. We have the main frame. This is part of the framing again. I can't remember what that part is. Detailed parts in general. Some handles. Possibly the end of the part of the tanks. A little bit of flash here, but nothing biggie. That's flash on the sprue. Again, it's not a big deal. Tiny bits on the end here, but again, it's not a massive problem. It's pretty clean. Ejector pins on the inside of the frame though. Hopefully they're not visible. Hopefully they're covered by the supports. If not, you're going to have to fill these and take care of them. I'm not going to see these ones because they're on the inside. But this black stuff, I think is maybe the release mould. So this is going to have to require a clean up. Clean your parts in soapy water so it doesn't affect your paint job. This is quite flashy around here though, I've noticed. Another sprue, we have sprue B, more framing, part of the radiator system, the tunnel transmission maybe, I'm not sure, for a gearbox even, again I'm not sure, some kind of lever. The ends of the tank, no ejector pins on these ones, but there are on these side, which are here. It's taken care of. Tank looks pretty clean, no ejector pins. There is a couple on this side of the radiator, but again these two halves are facing opposite one another, so you're not going to see them. This framing looks good. So maybe one or two ejector pins in places you may have to take care of, but it's not a massive amount. We've got two of these. These are drive sprockets and the little rollers and stuff. So these are the little rollers, go together. The springs, going to take a little bit of work, clean up. They're not the best of detailed springs. Drive sprocket. And there's those little arms, I think it's to do with the track tension, I'm not sure. But let's bring these up slightly. There's those springs. They're okay, but maybe if I can find some smaller metal springs, or even maybe make my own with plastic tubing and then wrapping wire around it, making it a bit more detailed. If not, I just have to leave these. You may not even see them anyway. As I say, there's two of these, and these are sprue D. And the last sprue here we have engine detail and the seat, exhaust pipe, and this is sprue E. So nicely detailed for the engine, some kind of 4-cylinder. Again, feel free to let me know what it is, what engine they're using. Is it petrol or diesel? I think it possibly would be kind of petrol back then. Exhaust assembly, the seat is nicely done. Ejector pins on the inside of the engine block, but again, because of two halves, you're not going to see them. All the belts, it looks pretty clean. There isn't much flash on this one I can see. So overall, I'm pretty impressed. Hopefully it goes together nicely and it's not too difficult. In this bag we have the gun and the transport trailers and stuff. So first part, we'll look at the actual main gun itself, the lower chassis. Looks like it's moulded in one large chunk. You have to take care of these two parts. It's part F, or it's not actually a sprue, it's just a complete part. One piece moulding, nicely done. There is some detailed parts to go on the edges to make this worthy and nicely detailed. Raised rivets. Just be the trailer. Actually, this might be the actual the flooring part for the gun to rotate on. So detail parts again, gussets, ejector pins on the inside, but again I think because they're too hard, you're not going to see them. Another sprue here, we have sprue B. It's the gun cradle parts. We have the shovel on the side. Sadly it's moulded in one piece, so I'm not a fan of when stuff is done like that, because I like to paint mine separately and then glue them at the end. So I'm going to have to be careful with my painting. So these parts were to go onto the side here and here to fill these gaps in. Again, ejector pins on the inside of these certain parts, but again, because they're facing one another, it's not going to be visible, hopefully. These are nice and clean. This sprue here, we have sprue A, which is the main gun itself, and then some more cradle parts. This is the inner tube of the gun. so it's going to require some clean up. This is a part of the gun cradle. Again, it has rivet detail in places, which is nicely done. How they managed to get rivet detail on this leading edge, I don't know, but they managed to do it. I was correct, it was a rubber piece for those wheels, which has the pattern on it for the wheels. If I can make this out of metal, maybe, as I say, because I'm not a fan of rubber in general, and I don't know how long it lasts and if it perishes and stuff. The wheels assembly for the vehicle, this is probably the main gun wheel. There is actually two of these, sorry, so there's two of those, which should be sprue, what are we looking, D. So we have more levers, the wheels, a couple of framings. There is a shovel separately on this one, and then another large piece of the cradle part for the gun to sit on and to turn. Again, jet pins on the bottom of here, but these are facing downwards, so it's not visible. I think a lot of this is actually made of wood. So it's nicely done. So there you are, my friends. Another kit from Roden, 135 scale, kit number R814 of the Tracktor and gun assembly. So it's like a transport diorama piece to build. Looks pretty good in my opinion. Feel free to let me know what the kit is like, what's Roden like in general, as this is my first kit from Roden, so I don't know what their subjects and are any good, and are they worth buying. I like World War I vehicles in general. I like the history of World War I and World War II and stuff like that. So this is totally up my street. I'll be hopefully trying to build this soon. And we'll catch you later, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comments and subscribe.